Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of The World Today. It is a Southwest Network program of Radio Nigeria, Ibadan, on our station, comprising news and feature. In the lineup, slain Oyo teacher's family request corps of member. House of Representatives withdraws its state police bill. On the foreign scene, United States mission provides guidelines on travel documents. Iranian authorities hangs two over terrorism. Heart of the matter is on preventive measures against flooding as the rainy season continues, while the feature is on Agugu. My name is Stephen Agbaje. With me on the news is
Feyi Shara Owomu Yela. Good afternoon. Remember to join us via live stream www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng or watch us live on Facebook at Premier FM 93.5. Your health matters. Stay warm as we experience downpour. Now the details. The family of Mr. Michael Oyedokun, one of the two teachers killed during the abduction of pupils and teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State, has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to direct security agencies to recover his remains for a befitting burial. The appeal was contained in an open letter jointly signed by the Oyedokun family and addressed to the president. The family said its grief remained unresolved because Oyedokun's body had yet to be recovered. While acknowledging the successful rescue operation, the family noted that unlike other families reunited with their loved ones, it was still mourning the loss of Oyedokun, whose remains have not been found. The family added that recovering Oyedokun's remains would restore dignity to his memory and allow them to begin the healing process.
On the other hand, Oyo State government has formally taken custody of the pupils and teachers rescued from their abductors in Orire local government area of the state. The victims were officially handed over to the state government by the Nigerian military after completing a 48-hour period of medical observation, treatment and psychological evaluation at the headquarters of the 2nd Division Nigerian Army Medical Services, Odogbo Barracks, Ibadan. Correspondent Iyabo Adebisi covered the event for Radio Nigeria.
Addressing the rescued pupils and teachers during the handover ceremony at the Agodi Secretariat Ibadan, Governor Makinde promised the victims that his administration will take full responsibility for their welfare, education and recovery as they reunite with their families. Governor Makinde added that the state government will stand firmly by them and ensure that the traumatic experience they endured will not derail their future.
Let me give you the assurance, both the teachers and the students from that particular school, the state government will do everything possible to ensure that there's no disruption to your careers and there's no disruption to the education of those
Governor Makinde expressed appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for his intervention and to the leadership of Nigeria's security agencies for coordinating the rescue operation. Earlier, the General Officer Commanding GOC 2 Division, Major General Chinedu Inebifi, said directive from President Tinubu, Governor Makinde and other stakeholders strengthen the resolve of troops to secure the release of the victims. According to Major General Inebifi, security forces pursued the abductors from day one, but the captors had moved deep into the forest, noting that the operation, which resulted in the loss of personnel, later paid off after 56 days.
We focus on also dismantling their network and cutting off their logistics and the informants within Oyo National Park and other parts of the country. We interest people that we have to go start looking for other members of the team and even members of the family outside of Oyo to get part of them.
Speaking with newsmen for the first time after their release, the principal of Community High School is Mrs. Rachel Alamu, narrated how they moved through forest at night, slept in fear, and watched the youngest children take the worst of the beatings.
So many times they used fear to subdue us. At a point, they told us that the government will not be interested in our case again because they did not value us. But there are times that we had hope that we will come out alive. Mr. Michael was killed on the second day we got there, but Dikin was killed. They killed them purposely because they felt that would force the hand of the government.
The victims who were kidnapped on May 15 were freed last Friday after a coordinated operation involving the Nigeria Army and other security agencies. They had been receiving medical treatment at the military hospital in Ibadan since their release, while their return witnessed joy and happiness among their loved ones, community, Oyo State, and Nigeria at large in Ibadan. Iyabo Adebisi, Radio Nigeria.
Still on the released kidnapped victims, the presidency has criticized Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde over his call for a United Nations-led investigation into the abduction of pupils and teachers in the state, describing the demand as unnecessary and politically motivated. While formally assuming responsibility for the welfare, rehabilitation, and education of the 45 teachers and pupils rescued after spending 56 days in captivity, Governor Makinde called for a United Nations-backed investigation into the abduction, saying Nigerians deserved a full account of the circumstances surrounding the incident. The special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, said the governor's request suggested a lack of confidence in Nigeria's security institutions, insisting that the military and other security agencies had already provided explanations on the rescue operation. Armed bandits had, on the 15th of May, attacked 3 schools in Yawota and Ahoro Esiele communities in Orire local government area of Oyo State, abducting 39 pupils and 6 teachers.
Meanwhile, the rescued school children and 5 teachers at Orire local government area of Oyo State have arrived at the Ladoke Akintola University Teaching Hospital, Lautech, Ogbomoso, for further medical evaluation and trauma rehabilitation following their successful rescue. Residents of Ogbomoso gathered at the entrance of the teaching hospital to welcome the returnees, expressing joy over their safe return.
In a related development, the Oyo State Deputy Governorship candidate of the Allied People's Movement APM, Engineer Muftau Opun Salawu, has expressed profound relief and gratitude following the safe release of the students and teachers who were abducted in Ahoro Esiele and Yawota communities, Orire local government area of the state. Engineer Opun Salawu was speaking with Radio Nigeria in Ibadan, said the release has brought relief to the families of the victims, the affected communities, Governor Seyi Makinde, and the entire state government, as well as Nigerians who had anxiously waited for their freedom from captivity. The APM deputy governorship candidate commended the professionalism, resilience, and gallantry of the security agencies involved in the rescue operation, noting that their unwavering commitment demonstrated the government's resolve to protect lives and restore public confidence in the security architecture. He also appreciated the efforts of the federal and state governments, as well as traditional rulers, community leaders, and other stakeholders who played various roles in securing the release of the victims. While celebrating the successful outcome, Engineer Opun Salawu urged security agencies not to relent in their efforts to rid the state of criminal elements, stressing the need for sustained intelligence gathering and stronger collaboration between security operatives and local communities.
In the meantime, the Nigerian Police Force, Oyo State Command, has confirmed the safe release of the farmer who was abducted along Ibudo-Are Bush Road, Iteshiwaju local government area of the state, Mr. Matthew Owade. A statement signed by the Command Public Relations Officer, Mr. Olayinka Anyolade, says the victim regained his freedom yesterday evening after a coordinated joint security operation and sustained investigative efforts mounted pressure on the kidnappers, forcing them to abandon him. According to the police, the victim has been taken to a medical facility for evaluation and treatment. He is expected to be debriefed by investigators after receiving medical attention as part of ongoing efforts to identify, arrest and prosecute those responsible for the abduction. The Commissioner of Police in Oyo State, Mr. Olubenga Bimbola, commended other security agencies, community members and residents for their support during the operation. He reassures the public of the command's commitment to protecting lives and property, urging residents to remain vigilant by providing timely and credible information to support ongoing security operations.
Away from abduction stories, oil prices rose sharply today following fresh U.S. strikes on Iran, escalating tensions and raising concerns about global inflation. The conflict intensified after Iran attacked a commercial ship in the Strait of Hormuz and announced the closure of the key oil route, prompting retaliatory U.S. strikes. President Donald Trump warned of continued military action and proposed a 20% levy on cargo passing through the strait, a move analysts say could increase oil costs significantly and may violate international laws. Despite the tension, Trump said a diplomatic deal with Iran was still possible. Global oil prices had already surged more than 9% as of yesterday amid fears of prolonged conflict.
The House of Representatives has withdrawn its proposed constitutional amendment bill seeking to establish state police, opting instead to consider a similar bill transmitted by the executive. The development emerged during plenary today, where lawmakers gave the executive-sponsored state police bill its first and second readings. The bill was subsequently referred to the House Committee on Constitutional Review for further legislative action. The decision effectively suspends the House's earlier proposal as lawmakers shift attention to the executive-backed amendment bill. The executive bill is expected to undergo detailed scrutiny at the committee stage, where lawmakers will examine its key provisions before it is returned to the floor for further consideration.
The Kano state government has extended a welfare support package to the family of a police officer who died in the line of duty on the 27th of March this year, late Inspector Sani Haladu. The support package includes a cash donation of 1 million naira and food items. This was contained in a statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Police Kano State Command, Mr. Abdullahi Haruna. According to the statement, the items were presented at the command headquarters by the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Mohammed Uthman, on behalf of the Kano State Government. Receiving the items on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ibrahim Bakori, the Deputy Commissioner of Police Department of Operations, Mr. Lawal Mani, expressed the command's profound appreciation to the state government for the gesture. Mr. Mani describes the late Inspector Haladu as a dedicated, loyal, and gallant officer who lost his life while serving the nation. Mr. Bakori also commends Governor Abba Yusuf and the Kano State government for the support, reiterating the command's commitment to protecting lives and property across the state's 44 local government areas.
This is the world today, the stories that made the headlines. Slain or your teacher's family has requested corpse of their family member. House of Representatives has withdrawn its state police bill. Still to come, United States mission provides guidelines on travel document. Iranian authorities hangs two over terrorism. Details shortly.
Glad to know you're still with us. It is still the news on the world today on the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria. Now the rest of the package Moving to the foreign scenes, the United States Mission in Nigeria has reminded holders of a B1, B2 visitors visas to use the travel document only for its approved purposes. The mission warned that violations could jeopardize future travels to the country. In a message posted on its social X official account, the mission clarified that the combined non-immigrant visa is intended for temporary visits related to business engagements, tourism, and family visits. It also cautioned travelers against using the visa for purposes outside its approved scope, stressing that such actions could have lasting consequences. It also explained that the visa did not permit employment or other activities outside the conditions under which it is issued.
The federal government has announced that the last evacuation flight from South Africa with 315 Nigerians is expected to arrive in the country tomorrow, 15th July 2026. This was disclosed in a statement signed by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimiebe Imomotimi Ebienfa. The flight, to be operated by Air Peace, will depart South Africa at 1:30 in the morning with an estimated time of arrival at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, set at 6:30 in the morning. The government had earlier conducted 4 evacuation flights, bringing home hundreds of Nigerians following the recent xenophobic attacks and security concern in parts of South Africa.
Iranian authorities have hanged 2 people convicted of being part of the Islamic State group, following the Supreme Court's final verdict and in accordance with legal procedure. 2 members of the terrorist Islamic State group, Muhyiddin Abdullahi and Hussein Palani, were hanged. According to Mizan, the 2 men were planning to launch terrorist operations in the country and were sentenced to death for armed rebellion against the Islamic Republic. It has claimed multiple attacks on Iran in the past few years.
Canal Sports, the FIFA World Cup 2026 resumes today with the kickoff of the semi-final fixtures. At 8 o'clock tonight, it will be a clash of 2 European giants as France tackles Spain at the Dallas Stadium, Arlington, USA, while defending champions Argentina take on England tomorrow at the Atlanta Stadium, also at 8 o'clock. Agugu is a popular area in Ibadan, Oyo State capital. What informed the name? Let's join Emilia Ojemudia for details.
The name Agugu in Ibadan traces its roots to traditional Yoruba culture and refers to the worship of masquerades, specifically the Egungun. In 19th century Ibadan, the area that is now the Agugu settlement, located in the Ibadan North-East local government area of Oyo State, was historically designated as a place where the Egungun, which are local masquerades, were assembled, dressed and worshipped. The original inhabitants and early settlers in the part of the ancient city placed heavy emphasis on these cultural traditions, particularly the performance of the Ololu and other masquerades. Because the site served as the primary gathering point for these ancestral spirits, it was named Agugu, a localized reference tied to masquerade rites. Over time, the settlement grew into one of the densely populated, traditional brown roof areas of Ibadan proper.
That feature on Agugu was written by Olufumilayo Ojo.
And today's Heart of the Matter: preventive measures against flooding as the rainy season continues is the basis for the Heart of the Matter today, as written by Fumilola Obagbayegun of our Current Affairs Unit.
The rainy season is a period of blessing as it provides water for agriculture, replenishes rivers and reservoirs, and supports the nation's food production. However, it also comes with a risk of flooding, which has become a recurring challenge in many parts of the country. Every year, heavy rainfall destroys homes, farmlands, roads, bridges, schools, and other public infrastructure, while thousands of people are displaced and, in some cases, lives are lost. Recent years have shown that flooding is no longer a distant possibility but a reality that demands urgent preventive action. States such as Kogi, Niger, Benue, Bayelsa, Anambra, Lagos, and part of Oyo have witnessed devastating floods that disrupted economic activities and forced many residents to seek temporary shelter. In 2024, the flooding of Maiduguri, Borno State, also demonstrated how severe flooding can destroy communities and public facilities within a short period. Although heavy rainfall is a natural occurrence, many flood disasters are caused or worsened by human activities. The indiscriminate dumping of refuse into drainage channels, construction of buildings on waterways and floodplains, poor urban planning, and blocked canals prevent the free flow of water. As a result, even moderate rainfall can lead to serious flooding. Preventing flooding is a shared responsibility. Government at all levels must ensure that drainage systems are regularly cleared before and during the rainy season. Environmental sanitation exercises should be strengthened, while agencies responsible for town planning should strictly enforce regulations against illegal structures on waterways. Investment in modern drainage infrastructure, dams, and effective flood control projects should also be prioritized. Citizens, on the other part, need to dispose refuse properly instead of dumping into gutters and streams. Community members should participate in sanitation exercises and report blocked drainage channels to the appropriate authorities for immediate desiltation. Those living in flood-prone areas must heed early warning messages from emergency management agencies and relocate to a safer place whenever necessary. The media have to sensitize the public on flood prevention and safety measures, as regular weather forecast and flood alert from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency and the Nigeria Hydrological Service Agency will go a long way to enable people prepare adequately before heavy rainfalls. As the rainy season continues, preventing flooding must remain a national priority. Protecting lives and property requires cooperation between government, communities, and individuals. By keeping the environment clean, respecting town planning regulations, and responding promptly to early warnings, Nigeria can significantly reduce the devastating impact of floods and build safer, more resilient communities.
That script on preventive measures against flooding as the rainy season continues was written by Fumilola Obagbayegun of our current affairs unit and read by Dayo Adenuga. To end the news and the world today from the stable of Radio Nigeria, a quick look at the major items. The family of Mr. Michael Oyedoku, one of the two teachers killed during the abduction of pupils and teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State, has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to direct security agencies to recover his remains for a befitting burial. The House of Representatives has withdrawn its proposed constitutional amendment bill seeking to establish state police, opting instead of consider a similar bill transmitted by the executive. From the foreign scenes, we reported that the United States mission in Nigeria has remained holders of B1, B2 visitor visas to use the travel document only for its approved purposes, and Iran authorities have hanged 2 people convicted of being part of the Islamic State group.
Well, that's it on the world today. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of the program. Lillian Ibomo edited. My name is Stephen Agbaje from my colleague
Feyi Shara Owomoyela. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Bye for now.